Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Before we read, let's invoke the blessing of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः ईश्वरा परमा कृष्णः सच्चिदानन्दविग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविन्दः सर्वकारणकारणम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we have been reading from the book Trinadapi Sunichena by Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki jai. We are at the chapter Give Up Pride to Develop Krishna Prem. Uddhava is a Jnani Bhakta. So this is what we read yesterday. So next section, what consolation can I give? From a distance, the gopis saw Uddhava. They thought, who is this? He looks exactly like Krishna. They started talking amongst themselves. Oh Sakhis, who is this person coming? Inike, Inike, who is he? Who is he? He looks like Krishna, but he has no flute in his hand. He has no peacock feather on his head. Therefore, he is not Krishna, but he has same complexion, same height, and same age as Krishna. Uddhava's chariot arrived at Nanda Maharaj's house, and all of the gopis went there to see who had come. Who is he? He is a messenger, a Duta, coming from Mathura. Krishna has sent him. Uddhava met Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mata, who were feeling acute pangs of separation. Uddhava came to give them consolation. When he saw the depth of Nanda Maharaj's lamentation in separation and Yashoda Mata's crying, Uddhava thought, quote, what consolation can I give them? If someone is upset at the loss of his material kith and kin or losing his wealth, then his friends may come and give consolation. Why are you crying? Material relation and possessions are temporary. Only death is certain. A friend may talk like that and give some consolation. But what kind of consolation can I give to Nanda Maharaj who's crying for Krishna? Next, their love is Shuddha Vatsalya. Uddhava is a Jnani Bhakta. He has knowledge, Jnana. Therefore, he said, why are you crying? Nanda Maharaj, Krishna is Bhagavan. He is all pervading. He's everywhere. Why are you crying? Nanda Maharaj replied, stop. What are you saying? Krishna is my son. Let your Krishna be Ishvara, but he is my son. In Vrajbhumi, there is only Vraj Prem, pure love. It is not mixed with Jnana or Aishwarya. The Vrajvasis have no concept of Jnana. If a devotee's bhakti is mixed with Jnana or Jnana Mishra bhakti, then Priti Sankuchita, the love is shrunken. Uddhava could not comprehend this because his understanding was tinged with jnana. Yashoda Mata was crying and said the same thing. What is that? Let your Krishna be Ishvara, but he is my son. They both stopped Uddhava this way. Traya Kopanishid Gabhischa Sankhya Yogascha Satvete Upgyamana Mahatmayam Harim Samayatma Jam. Krishna's glories are sung in three Vedas. All Upanishads, the Sankhya yogis perform Kopani Sabdi, analytical study of that absolute truth Krishna. The devotees offer prayers to Lord Hari, yet Samanya Atmajam, Yashoda Mata considered that Supreme Person her ordinary child. शुद्ध वात्सल्य ईश्वर ज्ञाना nahi. Love of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Mata is Shuddha Vatsalya, pure Vatsalya Preeti. There is no Ishwar Jnana. Uddhava cannot understand this because he is Jnani Bhakta and has pride that I am a great Jnani. Mother Yashoda said, quote, I have prepared this nice Makhan Mishri sweet butter for him. I have prepared a nice bed for him and nice garland. These are all for our Krishna. If he is not our son, then who have we made it for? Saying this, Yashoda began crying again. Because Uddhava is a Jnani Bhakta, he is proud. He could not understand the mood of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. Uddhava condemned himself. My mission has failed. What consolation can I give them? They have developed such love for Krishna. I am bereft of that love. What is my life? My life is useless. Useless. Next. Gopi's love for Krishna is causeless. Hare Krishna. Are you saying something, Mataji? Next section. Gopi's love for Krishna is causeless. Uddhava then went to the Gopis. The Gopis' love for Krishna was even stronger. Their love is very pure, Madhurya Rasa. Day and night they were lamenting being separated from Krishna. Very often they would faint and fall down. They gave up eating and sleeping, became skinny, and just lay on the ground. They were remembering the different pastimes, places of Krishna. Krishna did this here, and only speaking Krishna Katha and remembering Krishna, nothing else. This is love. They had become so skinny due to feelings of separation that the rings they were wearing on their small fingers had become bangles on their arms. They are always thinking of Krishna and speaking about Krishna, nothing else. When the gopis saw Uddhava, they told him, O Uddhava, Priti has two types, Hetuki Priti, Ahetuki Priti. Love with some cause and love without cause. They then gave some examples. When the bumblebee comes to flowers, it sings, making humming sound. In this way, it glorifies the flower and then it kisses the flower. What is the purpose? Bee's only purpose is to suck the honey from the flower. Then, when honey is completely sucked out, The bumblebee leaves the flower and there is no more love. Therefore, honey is the cause of this priti, this love. Similarly, there are prostitutes who attract wealthy young men to earn money. They have some priti for these young men as long as they have money. But when the money is finished, their priti is also finished. Money is the cause for this priti. In this way, gopis gave many examples. Then they said, however, Uddhava, the love we have for Krishna is causeless. Next, why has viraha, dukkha come to us? The gopis then said to Uddhava, quote, if you are a great jnani and if you are a disciple of Brihaspati, then you must have shastric knowledge. If you have any knowledge of rasa shastra, then you should be able to answer our question. However, if you cannot answer our question, then we will have to say that you have no knowledge at all. Our love for Krishna is causeless. There is no duplicity, no selfish motivation in our love for Krishna. Please tell us why this viraha dukkha, this unhappiness in separation has come to us. Our love is pure, and we have heard that with pure love there is never any viraha, separation. We are feeling so much pain in separation from our most beloved Krishna, but our priti, our love for Krishna is not at all material. With anything material, there is some designation, upadhi. But with our love, there is nothing material. Our love is niropadhika priti, without any designation. There is nothing artificial in our love for Krishna. It is quite natural and spontaneous. Why then has such distress and separation come to us? Please answer our question. Actually, Uddhava, we are not personally so distressed because of this separation. We feel distressed because of the general people. There is no cause, no designation for the pure love we have developed. There is no fault in our love for Krishna. However, if such distress comes, then general people will think, oh, we will not develop love for Krishna because then we will be in such so much distress. No one will want to love our most beloved Krishna, who is supreme object of love. This gives us so much pain in our heart. So tell us, Uddhava, in affair of Niropadhi Prema, why has this taken place? Why? So in the interest of time, we stop here. Srila Guru Govinda Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Now we'll read Srila Prabhupada Leela We are at volume 6, chapter 1. Please distribute books. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Okay, so let me see. Srila Prabhupada's letters acknowledging the Christmas marathon and assuring the devotees that they would go back to Godhead sent the book distribution movement flying into the new year. With great momentum, devotees continued to find new ways and places to distribute books. New records were constantly topping the old, and devotees were making still higher projections for the future. Rameshwara published in his February 1973 newsletter a letter from a college student who had read one of the Srila Prabhupada books. ISKCON's mail order office was receiving hundreds of such letters a month. Sir, a couple, cou- quote, Sir, a couple of weeks ago, devotees of Krishna from Denver, I understand, were here at the University of Arkansas distributing literature. One young man approached me with a hard pitch for my purchasing a copy of Prabhupada's translation of Bhagavad Gita. I was initially quite skeptical. So many people are getting rich from selling their versions of the answer. And I told him to not to bother me. He insisted though, and I finally gave in. I have been reading the Gita, having not finished it yet, and I found it quite rewarding. My mind, shaped in logic and empiricism, seems to find itself barely testing the transcendental material in the book. I discuss it with others. I find myself remembering certain passages. It has genuinely stimulated my interest, to say the least, in a way that my quite extensive readings in Christianity, Zen, Buddhism, the lower forms of yoga, etc., have never succeeded in doing. In short, I think I finally found the beginning. Rameshwara went on to beat the drum of Sankirtana. Quote, Actually, no one can properly measure the effect of our book distribution. It was unknown how many books we distribute each month. We would be listed on every bestseller list in the country. For example, many of you know already the new Gita has outsold any other editions of Gita ever printed. The Macmillan Company has already sold tens of thousands of copies, while we have sold over 27 copies ourselves since they first appeared last August. With increased monies coming into the book fund, Srila Prabhupada had approved his trustees to plan to print larger quantities of books and store them in a warehouse, making them available to the temples for distribution throughout the year. Yet, keeping up with the temple's demand for books was still difficult, even with the warehouse. Small and easy to sell books like Beyond Birth and Death, On the Way to Krishna, Rajavidya, and The Perfection of Yoga were printed in tens of thousands. Distributors would go out carrying in their book bags a variety of books. Sri Ishopanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as an assortment of small books, Back to Godhead magazines, and some inexpensive booklets like Krishna, the Reservoir of Pleasure, and On Chanting Hare Krishna. Next, Tom Bewdry was living with his wife in Santa Cruz, California. After attending a festival in Berkeley celebrating Lord Chaitanya's appearance, where he chanted all day, and after reading Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, he felt he should become Srila Prabhupada's disciple. He began chanting and trying to interest his wife and friends in Krishna consciousness. When a traveling party of brahmacharis arrived to start a center in Santa Cruz, he told them he wanted to join, but they were skeptical. Then one day, he showed up with a shaved head and dhoti. Team Tom Bewdry, I began going out every day with the chanting party. Then gradually I began to break away from the Kirtan party to sell small books in shopping centers. One day I came back and one of the brahmacharis, Sarvabhauma, criticized me. He asked me how many big books I have sold. I said I did not sell any. He said, How many did you bring with you? I said I did not have any to bring with me. Then you are in Maya, he said. You did not bring any big books. How do you expect to sell them? Prabhupada warned these big books sold. So I thought to myself, Gee, I must be in Maya. I said, How do you sell these books? He said, You pray to Prabhupada. Prabhupada gives you the mercy. So I thought, well, that makes sense. That's how everything works in Krishna consciousness. I went to my house, I thought about it, and prayed to Prabhupada that I could sell these big books. I prayed all the evening and then took rest. In the morning, I got up and it was on my mind. So I put out one big book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, in my bag of small books. But in course of selling small books, I forgot about the big book. Suddenly, a lady came up to me and said, "What is that big book you have there?" Then I remembered Prabhupada and my prayers, and I said, "This is the teachings of Lord Chaitanya." I gave her the book, and she gave me $3. When I got back to the temple, I told the devotees how Prabhupada had sold a book, Praghosha. I was coming regularly to Detroit Temple for classes in the evening, and I was doing some odd work to help the devotees prepare the temple. Every night I would be painting and I would watch the devotees coming back from Sankirtan. They seemed very ecstatic and enlivened, and I was always little curious about what they did out there that made them come back like this. I would be up on my ladder, painting and listening to them talk as they sat on the floor drinking hot milk. They would talk about how they had knocked on one man's door and this had happened and then that had happened. It was very attractive to me. After I moved on to the into the temple and had been a devotee about a week, someone asked me if I would like to go and try distributing books. So I went out, wearing a dhoti and tilak, and using straightforward presentation, walking up to the people, giving them a card and a book, and telling them about the contents of the book, showing them Prabhupada's picture, and asking for a donation. The exhilaration I got from that was just incredible. I became extremely blissful to go out and do this. None of us could actually put a finger on why it was so ecstatic. We used to lie awake at night. All the brahmacharis stayed in one big room. We would lie there on the floor and in our sleeping bags, whispering to each other, "What did you say to the people out there?" There would be all these different conversations going on in the room at night, with the lights out and everyone talking, trying to relate how we were presenting Prabhupada's books. Jagat Dhatri Devi Dasi. My first service was cleaning the temple. I was cleaning the whole temple. I would be looking out the windows at the men piling into the vans getting ready for the Sankirtan. And I would always think that I would really like to be doing that. Finally, our temple formed two traveling parties, one of men and one of women. And we went for the summer to distribute books in fair of Washington states. The men and the ladies used to have competition to see who could distribute the most. Next, Sura. I joined Krishna Consciousness in Seattle in 1973. They sent me out on book distribution on my first day. We would always hear from Los Angeles about letters Prabhupada was sending. Everything we heard was centered on Prabhupada's desire for his books to be distributed. It was by it was by hearing this that newer devotees wanted to go out and be part of Sankirtan party. We wanted to be soldiers for Prabhupada book distribution army. Just 1 minute, dear devotees. We went out to Spokane Fair, and leader of Spokane Temple wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada requesting him to come and telling him the results of our book distribution. Then we received a reply from Prabhupada. saying that he could not make it, but that the devotees should go to a fair and preach on his behalf. Fulfill my mission, Prabhupada said, that every man and woman in United States gets a book. That was just what we were waiting for, and to get an order directly from Srila Prabhupada that this was what pleases him. Our book distribution kept increasing, and we just thought we would never had so much fun before. It was not like austerity. Some of the devotees were thinking, well, it is really hard to go on Sankirtan. We were thinking, you must be nuts. It's the most fun thing you can do to go on Sankirtan and sell books. It was fun, not for sense gratification, but for the soul. Because our being linked in the service to our spiritual master and Krishna. I appreciated it in that way. And when I first met Praghosha, I could see he was a really dedicated and true lover of Prabhupada because he was so dedicated to pleasing Prabhupada by distributing books. Praghosha. We were distributing in Santa Barbara, California. The area had been worked many times before, and the people were really puffed up. I went there with a couple of brahmacharis one day after trying to distribute for about 7 hours. I had only sold one book. I had never before had anything like that happen to me in my whole time as a devotee. I was really working. I never stopped at one particular point. I just could not take it anymore. I tried to give a book to someone and they cracked off to me in a really obnoxious way. I had so much desire. I was trying so hard that when he did this, it just devastated me. I just wanted to punch the guy in the nose. All my intensity came out, and I erupted into tears. I just sat down on an old telephone pole that was lying by the street and started to cry. Then this devotee walked up and found me sitting there like I had just lost my best friend. He said, Prabhu, what is the matter? I said, I don't know what's the matter. I just can't distribute books. Not one person will take a book. I have been here for 7 hours. Do you know how many books I have distributed? One book. Then he sat down and preached to me and put me back together. The next day, I was really trying to have a better day, and I took my book bag and just ran from one person to another all morning. Then I was showing a book to a girl. She said she could not pay me with money, but that she would gladly pay me. I was young and naive, and I did not know exactly what she was talking about for a minute. Then finally, when I realized, I called Hare Krishna and I took the book back from her, took off my wig and just bolted to another parking lot. I ran from person to person all day, praying real hard to Krishna. By the end of the day, I had distributed a large number of books. Lamanga Latika Devidasi. When I first came to Los Angeles, Srimati told me that Srila Prabhupada had said that being in the temple all the time was Maya. Prabhupada wanted us to go out and distribute BTGs door to door. I learned from other devotees how to distribute books. There were so many experienced devotees who knew how, so I just followed in their footsteps. I would say what they would say and do what they will do. Then it becomes easy. When a person took a book and gave a donation, I could see it was Lord Chaitanya's acting. I could see that everything was working under the direction of Krishna's internal energy. So we'll stop here and we'll start the next section tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Anybody has any question, correction, chastisement, realization? All right. So if there is no discussion, we'll stop here and we'll continue chanting. Please forgive me, dear devotees, if I made mistake, and thank you for listening to me. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhayevicha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो Anand Koti Vaishnavind ki jai.